And we're back. Welcome back to the Duel Leagues portion of the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship Tournament 2018. We're about to get started with round 2, and I believe our players are...
We have Charlie Whyborne from the United Kingdom up against Alex Cheung from Canada, British Columbia, Vancouver, actually. I love Vancouver. Such a pretty area. But who do you think is going to win this matchup between Canada and the United Kingdom?
I don't know. It's a tough call.
I'm willing to place my money on the guy playing Destiny Heroes.
Destiny.
I understand there is a legendary deck, an Aster deck coming up, or...
That's correct.
Okay, great.
Well, we'll see if he uses it. Each player in the tournament is using 3 standard decks as well as 2 legendary decks. The first, third, and fifth duel of each match will be with a standard deck. The second and fourth will be with a legendary duelist deck. So if it's a 3-0 sweep, we won't be able to see the second legendary deck for each player. But
I mean, hopefully he'll use it in the first matchup. It's definitely one of my favorite legendary decks is the Aster Phoenix. Is he using Destiny or Calling as the dual skill, right?
yes.
Yeah, it's really good dual skill. When anytime you take 1,000 points of damage at any point in the duel, you can activate your dual skill and activate that Destiny Calling field spell. To where anytime a Destiny Hero monster battles with a monster with more attack, it gains 1,000 attack.
Yes. I can't imagine why he wouldn't use Aster Phoenix, since Aster has all the best cards, right?
I do have the best cards. I mean, I am the best duelist in Duel Academy, after all. Probably the most obnoxious, too, but that's okay.
Oh, man. Classic Destiny. And we'll be able to see, copies of Destiny Hero Plasma, one of the strongest Destiny Hero monsters, because the required cards, he's going to be using 2 copies of Plasma. But first, we're going to start off with the standard decks, right? So
here we go.
So this is round 2, Charlie Whyborne versus Alex Cheung. It looks like we have a Shiju Ishtar versus Odeon. So let's take a minute to see what decks they're using. We got Balance from Shiju. So Balance is a dual skill that requires you to play a minimum of 6 each kind of monsters, 6 speller traps in your deck, and then if you have each evenly separated, you'll have a better chance of drawing those cards in your hand, like opening 1 monster, 1 spell, 1 trap. That's why it's called Balance. Kind of makes sense.
Gotcha. Cheung is using Odeon with Amazonuses and the Endless Trap Hell skill, which allows him to return a trap card to his hand once he has 3 in the graveyard.
Yep. So see Charlie Whyborne using Noble Knights. It's really good. Balance is a really good dual skill for the deck because you just need to open up with that 1 monster, and if you open up an equip card, you get everything going, and then you open up with any one of your traps will enable you to be able to destroy your equip card on your opponent's turn, re-equip it to the Driston, and pop whatever monster they have on the field. So Alex Cheung is up now. It looks like it is Amazonas against Noble Knights. Normal summon of a Swordswoman. 2 cards face down, so we don't see him starting with the Amazonas Princess, which is a huge thing for Amazons. They need that princess to get things going, but hopefully he did happen to just manually draw his copy of Amazonas Onslaught.
Right. Even with Onslaught, you'd always rather have the princess because it also fixes a lot of the problems with the monsters and makes sure you get the baby tiger or Amazonas Queen to the field pretty easily with its effect.
Now, what happened here? How come he didn't take damage from that attack?
Because since the Driston was in defense mode and
it
was in defense mode, destroyed it. But Amazon Swordswoman does have another effect that any battle damage that you would take during involving battle with it is inflicted to your opponent instead.
Oh, I see.
But we do see 2 copies of Madrad. You see the Arfador destroying the Canadian. They get face down. No attack, so he's going to play around. Or at least he's weaker now because of the Arfador. Interesting that he equipped it there. I guess it was already on the Madrad. So we have another Speller Trap card set from Alex. Another one set. As long as that Noble Arms Arfador is on the field, though, he'll be able to pop or destroy each Speller Trap 1 at a time every turn.
Looks like Cheung is banking on being able to destroy the Megrot to get rid of the Arfador.
Yeah, so the reason why he has like the 2 Speller Traps, but we don't see anything being activated. The Noble Knight's main goal is to Wild Tornado, Typhoon, or do something to destroy the equip card and re-equip it to a Driston. But since Alex was able to Paleozoic Canadian and put that Driston face down, he wouldn't be able to do it. But now you see the Typhoon getting activated on the Amazonas Onslaught.
Yes. So Cheung uses Onslaught to try to special summon an Amazonas from his hand. Typhoon is chained to destroy... Well, I think he chained Canadia first, right?
Mm-hmm. Chain the Paleozoic Canadian, come back from the grave since the trap card was activated.
Right. And then Typhoon was then chained to that to destroy the Onslaught.
Yep, so we see Madrat getting destroyed here.
Canadia destroys it.
So normally, Noble Knights have a pretty good Amazonas matchup, but with Amazonas being able to go first and set up a Paleozoic Canadia, put the Driston face down. You see him being able to take advantage of that.
Right. Noble Knights are reliant on being able to equip spell cards to their monsters, and you can't equip a spell card to a face-down monster.
Indeed. So you see a direct attack here from Paleozoic Canadia, and followed up by another attack from Amazon Swordswoman. Yeah, without monsters, Noble Knights really can't get anything going. It's kind of like a fragile sort of deck where, like, once you have an established board and you can just keep destroying your equipped cards and popping your opponent's monsters with Driston. But without any monsters, there's nothing they can do. Right. And it looks like it's going to be a concession from Charlie Whyborne, and game 1 is going to go to Alex pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was fast, and he won without Princess.
Yeah, one didn't need the Amazoness Princess, just was able to draw the Swordswoman and the Onslaught. But now we are going to the Legendary deck.
All right.
So hopefully we'll be able to.
I hope we get to see Aster.
I would hope we get to see Aster.
It's a good chance.
More importantly, I hope we get to hear Aster. He's got a great voice.
I agree.
Let's see, what is Mock Dragon's Legendary decks that we have coming up, possibly? Seems like we have
Arcana and Cyrus.
Arcana and Cyrus. So yeah, a lot of players are using Cyrus this weekend because Girya, a very powerful archetype, and you get to use Ties of the Brethren with the cards that you're required to use, like Drillroid and Steamroid, to summon the Girya monsters from your deck. And as we were talking about before, Pulse Mines, one of the best cards in Duel Links. It puts all your opponent's monsters in defense mode for the entire turn, including ones they summon after you activate the card.
Really? Wow, that's huge.
Right. And it is semi-limited, correct?
It is semi-limited, so you can only play two copies.
Okay.
Right.
So you're not going to see copies of like Enemy Controller and Pulse Mines in the same deck.
Very disappointed that my Destiny hero Celestial was
also semi-limited. Yep. Super powerful, so you also won't see that with enemy. Pretty much anything that's semi-limited is to prevent Enemy Controller being played in the same deck as those cards.
Yes.
All right.
Here we go. This is what I've been waiting for.
So it is Aster
Charlie,
Phoenix.
you can do this.
Rooting for Aster Phoenix for
Absolutely.
sure. But it looks like Aster is going to go first against Spellbooks.
The future is predetermined. And apparently I'm entering puberty at this moment. So, and it's destiny that I missed my line. Here we go. I set a card. I'm setting a card. I'm ending my turn.
All right, so we only see two face-down cards here from Aster Phoenix. Not the start he's looking for.
Cheung opens up with Spellbook of Secrets to get Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. He's doing what he wants to be doing.
Yep. All it takes is one Secrets or one Spell Magician Prophecy and then get everything going. That's like the upside of play Spellbooks. It's a very consistent deck. As long as you draw that one card that can search every other card in your deck, get that Spellbook of Fate online, and you're going to be able to take a duel very easily because Fate's such a powerful card. Oh.
Silent Magician hits the field. He tributes his Spellbook Magician of Prophecy to summon it, and it gains 500 attack points for every card in his hand.
Oh, dear.
Yep, Silent Magician, very powerful. Be able to negate a spell if your opponent activates it. And as you were talking about earlier, once he does finally deal with that Silent Magician, his effect when he's sent to the graveyard special summons another Silent Magician from his deck, a Silent Magician level 8.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Ignoring its summoning conditions.
It could get level 4 also.
Could get level 4. We'll have to wait and see which one Alex is choosing to play. Oh, look at
It's not over yet.
So yeah, the direct attack, dropping him down to 2,000. But this is also going to let him enable his dual skill to activate Destiny Calling, to activate Dark City straight to the field.
So that should make it pretty easy, actually, to destroy the Silent Magician in battle.
But it doesn't.
What do you think he said?
He said a monster.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Spellbook of Fate is activated.
Yeah, he's going to be able to banish 2 cards.
Oh, he banishes 2 spellbooks to switch the face-down monster into attack position. So now he'll know what it is.
It is Destiny Hero Celestial.
My boy.
So he puts an attack mode. Maybe when he activated that Spellbook of Fate, he thought he had 3 spellbooks in the grave and wanted to banish it. Or I'm not certain if it was a slight misstep or not. But we have Secrets coming down. He's going to be able to fill that graveyard up with 3 more copies of spellbook cards. So he'll be able to turn another Spellbook of Fate online to banish a monster. So he might just use a Spellbook of Fate here to banish the Celestial and try and attack for a game. Because even if his opponent has a card like Treacherous Trap Hole set, it won't really do anything here. Because he'll destroy the 2 monsters, but then he gets the Silent Magician level 8 from his deck.
Right, and any spell card that's set could be a quick play spell that could be negated by Silent Magician.
Right, so yeah, we might be looking at like a Mass Change and a Treacherous Trap Hole set face down here.
Yeah, the early Silent Magician was very difficult for Whyborne to try to beat.
Yep. Yeah. Silent Magician with the set Spellbook of Fate is one of the strongest combinations you can have in this game for a field.
Right, and Destiny hero decks do use a decent number of spell cards.
A lot of spell cards. Oh, we see a Spellbook of Power coming down that's going to increase the Silent Magician's attack by 1,000, and if it destroys a monster and sends it to the grave, or just destroys a monster, he can search his deck for Spellbook and add it to his hand.
It's really sort of only gaining 500 attack points as it loses 500 from a card leaving his hand.
But then he's going to Spellbook with Master Spellbook of Power. Oof. So it goes up to 4,000 attack points. Now he's going to activate that Spellbook of Fate. I'd imagine he's going to banish the Celestial, because if something does go wrong, he still wants to make sure that Celestial's not in the graveyard, because Destiny or Celestial does have the awesome effect. If it is in your graveyard except the turn you sent there, you can banish it along with another copy of a Destiny hero monster, and then draw 2 cards from your deck, as long as you have no cards in your hand.
I mean, he may... he does that. He hits the back row card instead.
Because, it was Treacherous Trap Hole.
Which sort of makes sense to hit the back row instead, because he can win through Celestial as it stands. Oh, he uses his Arcana's skill, Show of Nightmares, which allows him to add a random spell card from his graveyard to his hand. Oof. And then an attack over Celestial.
So unfortunately, Astro Phoenix was finally up, but the Spellbooks proved to be too much, and Charlie Whyborne is going to lose game 2.
This is not my destiny, by any stretch of the imagination.
You forgive me, Astro is apparently entering puberty now, so his voice is changing. He's getting a little squeaky.
So Whyborne is down 2-0 right now, so going into another standard deck duel, he's going to need a lot to come back and make this match even.
Yeah.
But as we see the power of Spellbooks, the consistency is why this deck is so good. It's you just have to open up that one blue boy, the one Spellbook of Secrets, and it just all searches itself. Very solid and consistent deck.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot, I have to say. I'm clearly the noob here, so it's very educational for me. Outside of the Destiny heroes, I don't know a lot of the cards, but the fact that Duel Links has far fewer cards makes it a lot easier for me.
Yeah, definitely. I love Duel Links. I always explain it like the simpler version of the TCG and a good way to get in to the game.
Yeah. Well, Astor's always learning. That's why he's in Duel Academy.
That's right. I'm never going to leave.
Ever. So here we go. It looks like Alex Cheung's going first. And we're going to have Holy Guard Amazons against probably Beatdown for Hire. Anytime you see Kaiba, you're mainly the dual skill you're going to look at is Beatdown, and the deck that uses Beatdown the most is for Hire monsters.
The Holy Guard ability makes it so that when your monster attacks your opponent's monster, you take no damage, even if your attack points are lower than their attack or defense.
Which is really good with Amazons, right?
Right, because if you would use your weaker Amazoness to attack an opponent's stronger one, and you have Amazoness Onslaught on the field, you won't lose life points, but you'll still be able to banish that monster.
So we see a Hey True
This is going to be insane. Cheung uses Hey True, bounces 3 cards back to the hand, and summons Beat. So if he has another low level for higher monster, it's already over.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Whyborne
It's over.
It's over, yeah.
No.
He's going to be able to search for Dinah. And be able
Dinah
to
or Wiz.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't root for anyone playing Kaiba.
But unfortunately, Whyborne just didn't draw the Princess, didn't draw an Onslaught. Because even if he had Amazoness Onslaught, the Hey True Nate, he would be able to chain it. It remains face up on the field, and he would be able to special summon a monster from his hand. But we do see the Wiz, which might have prevented that from happening anyways.
Yeah.
But so we see a quick game, and it looks like we're going to have, unless there's a Sphere Karibo in the hand.
Yeah, Beat summons the Strategist summons Wiz, Beatdown gives everyone 300 attack points, and that's it.
Yeah,
Unless he has Sphere Karibo.
Oh, what a shame.
Let's see, there's still a chance he has that Sphere Karibo. You can kind of see that there might be a delay on the attack, so it might be asking, would you like the Sphere Karibo here? Let's see if he has it. If not, it's going to be a quick 3-0 in favor of Alex from Canada. And nope, no Sphere Karibo. Just like that, round 2.
Well done, Mock Dragon.
Yep, congratulations to Alex Mock Dragon. He is moving on, the winner, but we're still going to be here. We have another round to feature right now.
Yeah.
More Duel Links right now.
Moving right along to round 3.
Duel Links is a fast game. That's one of the things I really like about it. You can play a game in PvP. If you lose immediately, like in that match we just watched, you can just enter another one.
Yep, just jump right back in. Yep.
And beating those 4-year-olds in Duel World, that takes no time. Auto duels, that's what I love.
All the third-rate duelists with the fourth-rate decks. Yep.
Read my mind.
But yeah, sometimes the matches, go that way. It's 3-0. We didn't get to see that second legendary deck because he was able to win.
Right, but we saw Aster, so
yes,
we saw what matters.
That's what's important.
The little bit of Aster we got to see. We got to see
There's another contestant with running a legendary Astro deck. I
Oh
believe.
yeah,
So
I'm
there's a
sure of it.
number of
I'm
them.
certain of it.
well, we've got that to
Yeah.
look forward to.
Yeah, because the required cards that you have to use, just Destiny or Plasma, even if like they're hard to summon, like Plasma requires you to tribute 3, you can use cards like Polymerization, and you can fuse for Destiny Hero Dangerous, and
You could also discard it with Destiny Draw.
yeah, and you have Destiny draw to draw 2 cards.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite cards because it's got me on it.
Yeah, drawn from the deck. Yep.
But I have to say, it really is a great entry point. Duel Links is a great entry point for me because it is a little over 8,000 cards in the TCG is a lot for me to learn. So 3,000 is a little better, and I'm glad that they don't have cards that are difficult to understand like Pot of Greed.
Yeah, very difficult.
I don't understand how that card works. It's
very complicated.
It's very complicated.
What does it do again?
the mechanics are very arcane.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know Shard of Greed is similar, and that draws 2 cards after it gets 2 greed counters.
And
But it takes a couple turns.
there's Jar of Greed.
Yep,
Yeah,
Jar
Jar
the
of-
trap card.
That's
only
also
draw
in
one.
Duel Links.
That I
draws
don't
one
really
card.
understand how that works either. Much too complicated.